Hi, good morning, and welcome to this Amos Pro tutorial about parts and part manipulation. Something we wanted to zoom into as it is, well, I wouldn't say complex, but there's a couple of tricks that you would maybe not immediately see if you're your first time user, or even if you're using it for a while. It might be useful to have a look at this. Just that you learn a few tricks on how to move faster throughout your part preparation, because as we said before in Amos, we go here from left to right in the preparation of our batch, and the logic is that you first work on your parts before you start working on your nest. As indicated before, you can always return. Of course, it's not like a strict scheme that you have to follow. But anyway, a bit more here on the parts manipulation and how this may help you in more quickly, more easily preparing your different parts. Okay, I started with the nest view actually here, because that's usually what you get to see when you're working inside your nest, or when you're just setting up a new batch. That's what you get to see. In order to get into a part, let's say, or to get the part view, as we call it, you just double click either here on the part description. By the way, to go back, you just click batch, or you can click here on the part and there go with a double click into the part view. And this, of course, allows you to go more into detail when it comes to manipulating this part. Let's say I do want to put it flat instead of straight up, this part, so that you can manipulate here with the figures, the uh, the parts. But more easily, I would say much more easily, is to actually start rotating them using the Alt function, Alt X for rotating over X, Alt Shift X for rotating in the other in the opposite direction, and then of course Alt Y, Alt Z for the other directions, of course. So that went quite quick. You may have noticed that it shifts each time with a certain angle, and that angle is configurable. You just go to the configuration here, you press settings, and there you got your standard angle. Some people might, I don't know, prefer a 45-degree angle to work with, or a 30-degree, or whatever is useful for you. Let's say I'm now putting it at a 30-degree angle. I double click again, and then I go right at 30 degrees at a time. Okay, you might have noticed also, by the way, that of course our parts are now sticking out because they're not in the same position anymore. Doesn't matter with our super quick nesting, it takes 3 to 5, 6 seconds to have them back in all again. Oh yeah, and of course the ones that don't fit are put aside. So that was my the first part I wanted to work on. That was this one. I go back into the part view, and there you have previous and next. Also, there you will see that you have a shortcut, Alt P and Alt previous and Alt N for next, which you can then use to actually go through your parts, as you can see here. That just as well works when you're inside the part. You can just go Alt N to go to the next part, to quickly go through all your parts to see if all the settings are okay, or if you perhaps want to change something. Good. So let's have a look at this one. Let's say for some reason the scaling wasn't good, then of course you can just scale the part to 120%. Again, I would have to re-nest. And so now I quickly made it a little bigger here. And let's say I don't need 70 copies, but 75 copies. Good. So I'll then to the next part. This one looks good, this one is okay, this one is fine, etc., etc. And with this part, I want to show some other options. For example, it's quite a bulky part. If you go here to the nest view, then you will see that it's this part here, which is quite bulky, for which we then want to foresee a higher nesting gap than the standard nesting gap. For more details on this nesting gap, you can also watch our nesting tutorial, which is also on this YouTube channel. So the nesting gap here, I increase it to 10 millimeters so that the distance is a bit bigger to the parts lying next to it. And here also, well, let's say we want 4 copies. Now we did something else with this part. If you've seen the previous tutorial, you might have noticed already that we blocked one of those in a certain location. And this is perhaps tricky in the beginning, but you'll quickly get used to it. If you want all parts of a certain, well, here we got the 4 of this practice 1 parts, then you click here, double click here, and you got all the parts. And then you, of course, have the part properties. If you want a specific one, so not all 4, but just a specific one, then you actually need to click here on the part that you want in the nesting, and then you go to parts, and then you get the part copy properties, so the properties of that specific copy. Let's say, well, here we locked the position because we wanted it in a certain position in our build box. But let's say we made a mistake here and we want it here at 200 millimeters, and then let's lock that position. Okay, of course it's overlapping with another part there, but let's keep it that way. This one also we want to lock the position. Here's another one that we want to say like, okay, I really want it there, or for all I know, you perhaps still want to move it upwards. There we go, it's gone upwards now. Um, so that allows you to quickly actually lock your position of your parts inside your build box, and you don't even have to remove all the parts for that. You can just keep on working on that. Now, of course, you shouldn't forget afterwards to re-nest, but since the nesting goes so fast, that's definitely not an issue, because also our nesting algorithm does not check for collision of parts, basically because it's impossible. We just cannot make it bump or make it having parts bump into each other. So don't worry about that. As long as you re-nest each time, you will be sure that no parts will be actually colliding with one another. Okay, since I blocked it in a bit not so interesting positions, of course, there's a bit less parts that fit into our build box in this case, but still we reach a nesting density of over 16% in, again, something like 5 seconds. Right, I'll just go through now, Alt N to go through my next parts. I check if everything is okay there, the quantities are okay, the boxed group is okay with the right quantities inside. Oh no, let's have a closer look again. Yes, this does look fine. More information on the boxing, of course, in that specific tutorial. But that's it. So again, it allows you to very quickly move your parts, put them in the right position, rotate them, etc. There is 3 more buttons that I need to show here, or 4 even. First of all, you can delete parts. You can just say like, okay, this was a mistake. I shouldn't put it in here, or I want to replace it with some other parts. So you can just quickly delete those parts. Another one is the actual section view, just like in the slicing, where you can have a section view of your whole batch. You can also have a section view of your individual parts. So you can easily run through those parts to have a look if it does indeed look okay and if it's hollow where it should be hollow. Right. Another one is the reset view. Imagine you're somewhere inside and you don't really see it anymore. The reset button or the Alt 0 function will quickly take you back to a normal view of this specific part. There we are. And then a last one is the shelling option. Now, let's again take this very bulky part for which we think like, some shelling and lattices inside here would be quite interesting, either to reduce, of course, the heat or to reduce the binder usage, which is why we foreseen this, of course. So let's have a look inside. This part is quite bulky indeed. There is no shelling or lattices there. So for that, I just press the shelling button, and this allows you to change all the settings there. First of all, you will want to create a shell with a 3 millimeter thickness, let's say. Then you can choose either to add lattice structure or not. Let's just first start this way. And then it starts calculating, of course, a hollow shape on the inside, um, which then makes it a hollow part, thereby reducing your binder or reducing the heat that is put inside that layer, inside that specific layer. So there we are. We have a 3 millimeter shell now on this part. And then afterwards, if you think, or at the same time, of course, if you think like, okay, this is not going to be strong enough, yes, you can increase the shell thickness, but just as well, you can add some lattice structure. We have one standard lattice structure inside AMIS Pro, as most of our users for SLS, MGF, material jetting, or binder jetting don't have a need for specific choices in lattice structures. So that's why we just here allow you to change the beam length, to change the beam thickness of the lattice, which of course will then increase your strength as you make it higher here. So let's execute here. So now at the same time, we're recalculating the whole shelling and we're adding lattice structure inside, which in this case takes more than a few seconds, which is, I know it's exceptional with an AMIS to have something that takes longer than just a few seconds. Right, but we will nevertheless wait for the result because, of course, we would like to show you what this lattice structure looks like. There we are. Oh, there it goes. That was done quickly in the end. Right, so now you see the same part with a lattice and indeed with a shelling around, so that you got on the outside exactly the same part. And again, it was a few more seconds, but a rather rapid operation. Well, that's all there is to say about the possibilities of your parts manipulation in AMIS Pro. Again, we mainly had a look at functions that you really need, that are easy and quick to apply, and really allowing you to quickly prepare that batch. All in all, it should just be a matter of minutes instead of hours or even longer. I don't know. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next session or at any other occasion. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.